Good morning, everybody! It is 2:30 a.m. Pacific Time, 6:30 p.m. in Japan, and we just got the new Pokemon anime trailer, so let's go and check it out. This tweet coming from the Pokemon anime Twitter, and they're talking about, we have the all regions, Pokemon anime, building up, coming up. Let's see what we got. That looks a little familiar. Looks like that news report ended up being true. That is going to be the remake of Ash for the next series, and then the new friend tagging along, also showing us all of the little concept art and going on behind it. So yeah, this is what we saw, this is what we had. They're gonna have a score bunny, and we also have a lot of information to break down as well. So I actually zoomed in on this one so we could see it for the tweet, and then there's the trailer. Or not the trailer, there's the poster that we talked about. Boom. Just like that. Also, there's the full thing. Crazy stuff. Some crazy stuff. But now we can actually go into the details. So new Pokemon anime character introduction, Satoshi. From one encounter, 10-year-old boy aiming to become the strongest Pokemon battler. A personality with a strong sense of justice. My dream is to become Pokemon Master. Pikachu, best partner that can adventure along with Satoshi. Specialty is 10 volts. I'm guessing that's like the Thunder Shock. Or is it called Thunderbolt? Aha! It is Thunderbolt, so this is going to be the translation right there. It's actually 100,000 volts, but it shows 10, and that's why Google Translate does some weird things, or the Twitter Translate does some weird things. Fun fact, that's why it's also called 10 million volt Thunderbolt for the Z move. So it's supposed to actually be shown as a much stronger, 100 times more powerful Thunderbolt. Just a fun little side fact right there. But we also have the new character. So let's go see all of these new tweets, talk about everything that's going on, and this is some really interesting stuff. Now, since the translation is a little jank, I'm just going to kind of get the information from somewhere else. So we have Satoshi, he wants to be a Pokemon Master, and then Go wants to capture all the Pokemon, especially Mew. And I think that's what he meant with the Phantom Pokemon. So, had a Mew encounter, and then that drives him to capture all of the Pokemon, including the rarest one being Mew. Also, it's a guy. Internet was fooled. We can't blame Professor Oak anymore, because no one could have really guessed. I said it was a guy, but that was mostly just because, looks edgy, and that'd be, a really badass girl, but, just kind of when I first saw it, my first thought was guy. Turned out to be right. So yeah, new animation. Hero, Go's original character draft, Ken Sugimori made this, an anime character design has been created. So, Sugimori, he's still rocking it. He knows how to make some cool characters. That's awesome. And then we have this for Score Bunny being featured in the anime as well. Good at kicking, hate losing because of my friends, a lot of things, fateful encounter with Go. So, that seems to be all that we have right now. And that leaves a lot more questions than answers almost. We got to see that this ended up being real, but how is the adventure going to take place across all the regions? Oh yeah, and we also have a little bit of extra art right here. So one of the anime artists has published this art by Satoshi and Go. That actually looks pretty cool. But now we actually get to talk about the anime, because since this didn't really have any hard confirmation, it was coming from a news site, but it was not published anywhere officially, so it was hard to figure out what was going on with it. Now I can actually start giving my thoughts about it, and honestly, I think this is really cool and could turn into the best Pokemon anime, especially with what we have going on with Go, that if he wants to catch every Pokemon, then that means we now won't have to sit back in frustration every time Ash just lets go of good Pokemon or rare Pokemon encounters that happen inside the anime. He started off kind of strong. He just threw a Pokeball at the first Pokemon he saw. That worked out. Until it didn't. And then he also got a Caterpie, he got a Pidgeotto, and then he got all the starters, and then he got Krabby, and then it really slowed down, and that was made a big point in the anime when Gary's like, hey, I've caught tons of different species of Pokemon. Ash only caught more Pokemon because of the dozens of Tauros that he got in the episode that we weren't allowed to see because it was banned for guns. But either way, when it comes to Go, I hope that this dude is catching a Pokemon every episode and he holds to it. If he does, then that means all of that tension can just get released from the anime, and that'd be pretty awesome right there. Also, now that Ash has become champion, if this carries over, maybe they will just make him a strong protagonist. From what we see, Ash looks really confident, he looks really strong, and Go is kind of designed like a baller, so if they just really make it like an awesome kind of childhood fantasy to where you actually become successful and you become strong, and it isn't just a long 100-episode learning session of incompetence until you magically get good in the finals or for a couple of moments inside gym battles and stuff like that. Also, since Ash already has the badges, except in Galar, again, don't really know how all of this multi-region thing is going to work out, and he has that championness behind him. Hopefully he actually works towards becoming a Pokemon Master, because 90% of the time, Ash isn't really trying to be a Pokemon Master, it feels like, inside of the anime and stuff. Now, his design does feel like it got Let's Go'd, if that's a good way of describing it. It's funny, because everyone's been describing it as everything. Oh, it looks more like X and Y. Oh, it looks more like Pokemon Sun and Moon. No, this is everyone's story. What do you mean? It looks more like Pokemon I Choose You. Either way, it does kind of feel a bit more like traditional Ash. Comes off as a bit younger, so as always, we have the 10-year-old boy, Ash, and then I guess this guy's also going to be 10 as well. So, not really going to grow up, doesn't really seem like a reboot. All of those fantasies of getting like, okay, Ash got a championship, now we get to time skip, and now we get to have him be like a lot cooler. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen. He has the Rotom phone. That was actually one thing to note that we had from like this concept art. It's like, alright, it's taking what we've seen from Pokemon Sword and Shield and already has those Generation 8 influences inside of it. But how far is the story going to go? Like, what does this mean? Are they just going to like rush through Generation 8 and it's like, well, I need to catch all the Pokemon in the Kanto region, and then they just kind of cycle through and have adventures? Are they going to do it generation style? There's like a lot of just kind of characters that have been really cool that are shown off throughout Pokemon. With Pokemon Generations, we got to see primary characters, we got to see some side characters getting the story developed, and then we also had rivals, main characters, and stuff like that, and they were just really cool the whole way. Also, the villains and stuff, like the episodes with Team Magma and Team Aqua, those were just amazing. One thing that is kind of a shame, though, with this poster leak is that there's not any new Generation 8 Pokemon. Like, we see Yamper, we see Corviknight, and then we see the Legendaries, and that's it. But also, this was the poster for the reveal that was going to happen like the next day or 2 days after anyways. So there's only a few other things that we can really see from this. That Mew being a part of the logo, or being like right next to the logo, that makes more sense now because we have the story for Go. And then we have things like Go riding Lugia and Ash hanging on to Lugia's tail and stuff. And then we also see the legendaries of all the regions being represented. So is it going to be like mini movies inside of that as well? It's also crazy because Ash has encountered and survived encounters and like had pseudo taming moments with legendary Pokemon, and he still doesn't consider himself a master. He has the championship, he has the badges of every region and stuff. So now it's just kind of getting crazy because I did my video about like if Ash is a Pokemon master, and I'd consider him one to where we could just drop him and start moving on with just like story characters and stuff like that, and then tell a more Pokemon Generation story. But if they make Ash cool, then I don't have a problem with him. But maybe having Go is going to be like a really good foil to kind of fill in all the blanks that Ash kind of has just for story and purposes like that. But I wonder how those legendary encounters are going to go. Either way, it seems like it's going to be a pretty fun story. I'm down for it. A few other things I wanted to just kind of keep an eye out, because as this was building up, Twitter was kind of blowing up as well. Remember when the promos for new anime series used to be super misleading? So apparently the first one was just Dawn with the legendary Pokemon. Yeah, that actually looks more like Pokemon Adventures than anything else, and it's like, oh, this is what we ended up getting. So it was Ash, it wasn't a reboot back in Generation 4. Looks like they're never going to kill off the character. And that brings me back to this article from PokeBeach, which actually came out after Ash won the Alola League, but it had some interesting thoughts behind it. Ash Ketchum finally wins Pokemon League. Will his anime run end? And then he cited a 2008 interview. Now, I stumbled into this interview when I was doing research for my Is Ash Pokemon Master video. He stated the writers would end the show if Ash ever became a Pokemon Master. There's no official definition on what qualifies someone to be a Pokemon Master. Even Pokemon.com has said this in the past. But in the context of the anime, fans probably associate winning a Pokemon League as major criteria for becoming a Pokemon Master. And that's also kind of suggested in the games early on, but then that was kind of retconned out because all of the Elite Four are Pokemon Masters. That's kind of been said through official sources of Pokemon. Lance considers you a Pokemon Master before you've even become champion. So just being better than Pokemon Masters qualifies it. But then it's also more than just being a good battler. It's also about understanding Pokemon, and Ash, he has like these impossible standards for being a Pokemon Master as well. Either way, Ash, doesn't appear to be a Pokemon Master by that just yet, and he still wants to achieve that goal. But it feels like he set it up for himself to where it's like ridiculous. You know, we have this right here. In his debut episode, Wallace is called a Champion Master. Likewise, in Memories Are Made of Bliss, Cynthia is referred to as a Champion Master. So kind of midway through Pokemon's history, they kind of started just coming up with these crazy terminologies, which makes someone sound like the most god OP battler ever. Champion Master, that's crazy. Both of them are the last person to be battled at the Champion League. So that's like another crazy thing, because it went from just kind of you become the Pokemon champion by winning it, but then you also have the Champion League battle with the actual champion at the end. Champion Masters must defend their title against all opposing trainers. In a sense, they are undefeated by any trainer that has officially challenged them to claim their title. Ash states that becoming a Champion Master is one step towards becoming a Pokemon Master. And then in I Choose You, Verity questions if being a Pokemon Master meant being the world's strongest Pokemon trainer. Ash replies, it's much more than that. Now, in that video, I also saw people saying that you have to catch all the Pokemon to become Pokemon Master. That actually hasn't been referred to as criteria anywhere, so I don't think that's a part of it. Also, it looks like Go is going to be filling in for that. And Ash still wants to become a Pokemon Master. He still considers himself on that quest, and he doesn't catch everything that comes his way, even the legendaries he's encountered. So yeah, we're just going to see where it goes. I like the style. I feel like it can work out really well. Go looks like a really amazing character. And actually, yeah, if we go back down here and watch this video again, you know, we can see the pictures of Ash that kind of go by really quick. That kind of shows like some of the concept art, some of what they're going for with Ash, and not against it. Pretty good. So yeah, there we go. That seems to be everything that we have on the Pokemon anime at this time. I was hoping to figure out how all the regions are going to tie in with this, and I think we might not even find that out for the first episode, or first couple of episodes as well. Now, that was the reveal announcement for 9/29, but according to this poster, it's going to be starting on November 17th, and it's going to be an hour-long special, which is usually how the first parts of a Pokemon anime are going to launch. So right after Pokemon Sword and Shield comes out, we're going to have the anime, and then we get to see where it goes. So that's going to be really interesting, something to keep an eye on. But overall, it looks good. As long as they actually just like overtune it and make it to be a really cool anime, I think they can make a really cool Pokemon anime with Ash, with Go, with what we have right here. And that's kind of it. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.